Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece chapter 1031. When we last left our heroes, Apoo had tried to request an alliance with Drake to sort of take out whoever was left standing at the end of the battle and claim all the spoils for themselves. It's unclear if Drake is on board with that. I doubt he is, but we don't quite know yet. Meanwhile, back with Team Tama, we learned that my boy Hamlet found them and is now a member of their team, and they run into Kinnamon's legs. Because we learned that, and as someone on Tumblr reminded me, or I saw a post on Tumblr that reminded me, it wasn't Law that put Kinnamon together after splitting him apart. It was the Straw Hats finding the last, I think it was Kinnamon's legs and then head and then torso. And with all of that together, finally put him together, but not really with the powers of the Op fruit, just sticking him back together, meaning he is separated again. And they just find his legs. They communicate to the legs that they are an ally, and so Kinnamon tells them that he's in the crawl space and Kiku needs help, and so Usopp, Hamlet, and Kinnamon's legs go deal with that. Meanwhile, Kandra was on the phone, Kandra was still alive, by the way, on the little smartphone with Orochi, who tells him, fuck it, blow the whole place up, make that your final act. Fukurokuju and I are getting out of here, but die for me, okay? And so Kandro summons this giant fireball monster named Kazenbo to blow up all the weapons in the armory, destroying Onigashima. Yamato kind of sees that as he continues his quest for the armory, but also he sees Big Mom crashing through the room with Kid and Law right behind her. We learn that Kid and Law have access to their awakening powers. In Kid's space, in Law's space, it allows him to use his room abilities on a particular object, allowing that object to pierce through barriers, which he uses on his sword to stab Big Mom, electrocute her. She's actually injured there. And Kid can use his to make other objects besides himself magnetic, including Big Mom herself, causing the support pillars of the room they're in to come crashing down on Big Mom. A whole lot happened last chapter. Last chapter was wild. But yeah, that's where we leave off, diving right on into chapter 1031. Our picture here is a color spread of various first mates throughout the One Piece world. We have at the top row, Marco, Killer, Katakuri, King, Shanks' right-hand man, whose name is Beckman, I think, and Silver Rayleigh. And then the bottom row, we have Sabo and Shoryu, I think is his name, the guy from Impel Down who joined up with Blackbeard. And then Zoro is our main focus, admiring his sword, and Beppo, just lounging behind him. We stand Beppo, he's a king. But anyway, chapter 1031, Warrior of Science. And we pick up right where we left off, with the Beast Pirates in shock over Big Mom getting crushed. She got crushed by the iron beams! Even Big Mom couldn't have survived that! Well, we'll see. We will see. She's Big Mom. What we see, though, Kid and Law are out. They are exhausted. The use of their awakening powers is basically not quite knocked them out yet, but they're clearly on their last legs. We see Law and Kid, how do you like that, you monstrous old hag? And Law looks at him. So awakening for the magnet fruit allows you to assign magnetic qualities to something. How long does the power hold? And Kid looks at him. Why should I tell you all of my secrets, huh? And then Law sees something that shocks him, and it's a steel beam from the pile getting thrown. Everyone is just shocked as all of a sudden an explosion erupts from the pile of steel beams, and Big Mom is still standing. She is in no way knocked out by that. The Beast Pirates all panic. Ah! She's getting up again! And, okay. She gets up and says, life, or Oshiruko. Has she lost her memories again? Maybe? I don't know, the Beast Pirates all react. We see their souls, dripping from them. Oh no, that's her soul pocus! Oshiruko? Hey, we still got some Oshiruko left, right? No, it all got spilled already. Oh boy. Then she's gonna take our lifespan from us. Yeah! Oh, is she? I'm trying to remember how exactly her abilities work. Because mostly she used the lifespan to create homies, right? She wasn't like artificially extending her own life or anything, unless I'm mistaken. Let me see if I can quickly find out. But I imagine it's gonna be one of those things I have to like dig into her wiki article. I'm not gonna do that here. But I think it's just she's largely been using it to create homies. It might just be she's on death's door and she just like needs the energy, not so much the lifespan, but life energy. If that makes any sense. Or I've completely forgotten the scope of her powers, and I'm completely wrong. Perfectly possible. One Piece has so many powers that it gets confusing sometimes. Either way, but you see their souls like emanating from them, and she grabs the lifespan, like rips it right out of them. It's a cool visual, actually. And now I give you a life. Oh yeah, okay. So she is using that lifespan to create a whole army of homies out of, I think, the steel beams. I think she's creating steel beams homies, along with Napoleon and Hera and Prometheus. Anyway, and then she comments, I'll use an entire year of my lifespan. Anything less won't serve to strengthen me. Oh, she eats her own soul. She cast off a year of her life to stand up to Law and Kid, which goes to show how strong they are. Okay. Anyway, the Beast Pirates all kind of react. What? Is it just me? Or is Big Mom getting bigger? And yeah, she's now even larger. I love this shot of her looming over Kid and Killer. I haven't felt this much pain in decades, I think. That's very impressive, you two. Trafalgar Law, Captain Kidd. I'm sure you've come for my throne, just like Straw Hat Luffy. I mean, it's questionable if Luffy came for her throne, but okay. So take it if you can. Prove you're worthy of being an Emperor of the Sea. And Law is just exhausted and comments, can't believe I have to beat this monster, just so I can learn more about history. Right, Law's new goal is just the will of D. But anyway, Kid remarks, don't hold any strength back as long as you still live. Excuse me. We're gonna bring her down even if it kills us. And we see the Beast Pirates and the Samurai are still fighting. But they can kind of see Big Mom's just truly big, pardon the bad pun, form in the background. How could she possibly be that huge? The performance floor is hell. The whole castle's a sea of flames. There's nothing but soldiers straight ahead. Oh, this is Yamato, who we see who's still on the performance floor, I guess. I'll have to circle around through the cave chamber. I'm back in the cave chamber, which is apparently where Apoo and Drake were. Apoo calls, stop, stop, stop! Have you gone insane? Scratch, boom! But Drake sort of dodges that. I've already figured out all your tricks. My obligation to Straw Hat demands that I put an end to you right here. At first glance, your techniques seem to have no attack vector at all. But you activate them through hearing and aim them with sight. Okay. So he just has to look at someone to aim at them, I guess. Alright. Apoo fumes. Quit spilling my secrets, man. Anyway, the real reason you're in trouble here is these 3 numbers. Check it! And we see the 3 numbers, and then I guess the door booms, like, crashes open, and yeah, there's Yamato, who's just come in, shocking the numbers. Young Master Yamato? Oh, Drake and Apoo. What are Toby Ropo and an info dealer doing here? Okay, so, right, I don't think Yamato is aware of Drake's betrayal yet. And Apoo looks at him. Yamato? Kaido's enemy. This idiot Drake is useless to me. Guess I'll switch horses. Okay, so what does Apoo know about Yamato? Because the particular word choice Yamato uses, an info dealer, I thought that Apoo was like a genuine member of the crew. Like a low-ranking one to be sure, but still a member. But the way Yamato's talking there, he sounds like some outside guy who like gives them information. You know? I don't know. Might be misunderstanding something there. Either way, Apoo is like, okay, I'm gonna go, try to ally with Yamato now. Oh, Master Yamato, I've got some very useful information you might like to know. And Yamato snaps at him. I'm in a hurry, and I've already cut all ties with Kaido. I'm not on your side anymore. Really? Even better then. And that gets one of the numbers' attention. Which part is not entirely sure if he's like decided that that Yamato is an enemy because he said enemy of Kaido, or if he's deciding that Apoo is actually an enemy. But the numbers were in on the idea of taking over Kaido anyway. So I'm not quite sure what this number is sort of interested in now. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, Yamato goes on to attack Drake, who he still thinks is the Tobiropo. Don't even try to stop me! And Drake calls, wait, Yamato! I have nothing to do with Kaido anymore either. What? Really? Sorry, Drake, I'm in a hurry. He just, like, pushes him aside. And Fuga, who's a number from earlier, like, smashes through the wall, I think, as Yamato moves through it. Actually, the way that panel is set up, was Fuga one of the numbers from last chapter? Let me see if I can find it real fast, just scrolling through the first couple of pages of last chapter. Yes, Fuga was. Okay, because it looked like he was coming from outside the room, that Yamato was in there. Or maybe Yamato's leaving the room, and so Fuga is sort of, like, headbutting outside the room? I guess, I don't know. The geography of this place is very confusing to me for some reason. Anyway, Yamato runs past the group. Onigashima and the flower capital are in danger. But then he turns back as Fuga sort of busted his head through the wall. Huh? And Apoo calls, what the? Where are you going, Fuga? Damn it, I gotta get Yamato on my side. You're kind of underestimating Yamato's goals here, Apoo. But Fuga runs for Yamato. Fuga? And Apoo tries to get to the other numbers. Come on, you guys, keep up. And Ibi and Zagi, I guess are their names, just look at him kind of questioningly. And Drake runs after Apoo. You're not getting away from me, Apoo. And with that, we come to the second floor. Back with Robin and Brooke, and the Minks, who are calling out to Brooke, run, Baron Corpse! Protect Nico Robin! They're just too strong! Be careful, my Mink friends, Brooke tells them. Oh! I was about to ask who they're fighting. But looking in those silhouettes, that's what the CP0 guys are up to. Because we saw them, I think, very briefly last chapter, standing all of a sudden. And they apparently decided to just come for Robin themselves. The big guy and the masked one are coming for Robin. That's what's going on now. Okay. And anyway, Robin grabbed onto Brooke. Time to jump down, Robin. And Robin notes, we saw those people back in Dressrosa. Why are they here? Or no, actually, it might still be... No, it wouldn't be Brooke, because I don't think... Was Brooke still there in Dressrosa when CP0 showed up? Because did CP0 show up at the end of the arc or the beginning? I forget which. I don't know. It's been a long time since I read Dressrosa. So I'm not quite sure who that speech bubble is supposed to be. But why are they here is answered by Robin. So I'm guessing that whole bit is Brooke, so it must have been at the beginning, I guess. Anyway, Robin tells Brooke, out of everyone in CP0, the highest level of Cypher Pull, the agents wearing masks are the most elite. And we see the masked man looking after them and then teleporting. And then we come to Pleasure Hall, Left Brain Tower, Skull Dome. Okay, so trying to work out what's going on here, because we see we're with Sanji again. He's in a room with, I guess, some of the women of the night, let's say. And one of them says to Sanji, How could you do that to such a young girl? Aren't you with the Wano army? I have no idea what that's about. I don't know what happened there. And Sanji says, yes, but no, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And we see this woman who's been beat up. I thought, he says, I don't know what happened there, but the woman throws something at him. Well, you're the only one who was here, so get out. We're hiding here for safety. And he flashes back to some of the whole cake events. Me? Hit a lady? That's the one thing I can't ever do. And again, flashes back to Whole Cake. They beat a woman unconscious. Everything you stand for runs counter to my ideals. It's just a weird turn, given that we didn't get to see any of that. But then Queen catches up to him. Mwahahaha. Hey, where you been? The pleasure hall's not open for business, Germa. And Sanji thinks, as he this is very calm walk he has. My body's not itching anymore. Is the transformation over? I remember that I was running along, deep in thought. Eek, I'm so sorry, I'm not Kaido's henchman, I swear! Oh, so a woman finds Sanji. I'm just a geisha who was brought from the flower capital to entertain. Please let me go. And the next moment she'd been knocked through the air and was bleeding badly. She was looking at me with fear in her eyes. Tell me, Luffy, which would you prefer? Oh, so actually, in retrospect now, I do kind of like that decision. I don't know. Well, I'm trying to think it through. How I feel about the decision to show this bit in flashback. Because it almost shows the confusion Sanji is going through. But also, Sanji would have at least recognized the girl in a way that we didn't, or had a bit more context than we had. So I wish we what I wish had happened, we had seen him encountering the girl, we cut to another scene, and then we come back with that bit on page 14, with him having already hit her and is so confused. It would have made that scene just a little bit less confusing to me. But anyway, I can track it now. Anyway, which would you prefer? And he stares down Queen, the regular flesh and blood me, who turns into a helpless wreck whenever I face an opponent who's a woman, or a cruel, cold, emotionless warrior of science, who can crush even monsters like him as long as you give me the order. Well, I mean, we know what Luffy would prefer. Definitely the flesh and blood, given everything Luffy is. Which one's going to be more useful to the King of the Pirates? I don't know what'll happen yet, but here goes. And he pulls out the raid suit. I've made up my mind. And Queen, all excited, oh, is that your Germa suit? I have to assume that this thing caused the science that was already in my body to awaken and activate somehow. Well, I can't do anything about that. And he stomps it, destroys it, refuses to be the kind of cold monster, chooses his ideals over all else. But I can say no more. I'm not going to be a Germa soldier. And Queen, disappointed, oh, what a waste. Come on, I want to see you transform. And then we leave that there. That's really all we get. Oh, no, actually. My bad. There was a bottom panel I almost missed. Farewell, Germa. Farewell, women's bath. What the fuck? This is one fight I've got to end myself. Oh, I tracked it. I was a little confused with the woman. I thought he was, asserting he was going to die. Also, I did see someone who had seen the spoilers comment. There was some comment about all the times we've wished for Sanji to die and now he's actually going to, or something. So I sort of assumed he was going... When I read that, my brain sort of went to he's accepting his death. But it's the suit would make him invisible, which would allow him to peep. Gotcha. But he holds out one of those tiny Den Mushis. And it's ringing. I don't know for whom. And we won't find out for a while because we go back to outside the dome with Zoro versus King. As a ringing comes in, I guess Sanji was calling him. Because Zoro clicks it on as he's fighting King. What? Since when did I have a transponder snail? And Sanji on the other side, I stuck it in your stomach band in case you were dying in a ditch somewhere. Moron cook, I didn't ask for your help. Just listen, I'll be quick. We're gonna beat the Beast Kingdom. We're gonna beat the Beast Pirates real soon. You think I don't know that? Actually, I'm gonna pause for a sec. It's kind of an interesting thing this arc is doing, right? We've reached a point where everyone is saying that their victory is assured, which is interesting. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's just an interesting take. You know, it does sort of have the sense of diminishing the tension almost. Like everyone's saying this is over, we're winning, and we're about to turn the tides. Even if the individual fights are filled with this kind of will they win, everyone is saying we will, and this sort of, and not in the kind of we will do this because we believe we can. You know, Sanji has that we're going to beat the Beast King. Yeah, we're going to beat the Beast Pirates real soon. with this sort of definitiveness. There's no real... That doesn't feel like a big shonen energy sort of thing. It feels just sort of factual. As a Zoro's respond, you think I don't know that? I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. Anyway, Sanji goes on. But after the finisher, if I'm not in my right mind, I want you to kill me. Okay. He thinks he can, like, permanently turn. And Zoro asks, huh? Alright, fine. I'll kill you, just like you asked, whatever that's supposed to mean. At least now I have something to look forward to after this. That's a good Zoro bit. In that case, don't die before then. Thanks. And Sanji turns off the phone. And then he disappears. Okay. Shocking Queen. Where'd he go? Is this more science, son of Judge? But we see Sanji, I guess he's like, jumped up with his flames. I'm already burning up. I don't need you throwing more fuel on the fire. Hell memories! And he kicks at Queen. Queen goes flying. To be continued. See you in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's where we leave off with Sanji deciding he might fully become, a Germa mindless monster. And if he does, he'll just die. Which, we'll see how all that plays out. This is One Piece, and, like, very few people die in One Piece. There's, like, you could count them on 2 hands how many people die in One Piece. Outside of flashbacks, I should say. So I don't know that'll actually happen, but I do imagine we'll have some kind of... I imagine Sanji's going to get worse before he gets better. I'm gonna look at the Sanji and Zoro scene first, because I think that's the biggest of this chapter. And also kind of the most interesting. I love Sanji's, like, I am who I am. And, like, I can't stop what's happened, but I can, put a stop to it here. And Sanji's a character who is, let's say, controversial at the best of times. I've been reading OP Backgrounds, the Tumblr user kind of goes into, like, in-depth, chapter by chapter. And some of his notes have sort of brought me much more on board with Sanji. The sort of value in One Piece of holding true to your beliefs no matter what they are made him much more likable in the whole I won't hit a woman thing with Black Maria. And that also, given that scene and Sanji's whole thing being tied up with not hitting women, and then this panel on page 16, when he stares down Queen, the regular flesh and blood me who turns into a helpless wreck whenever I face an opponent who's a woman, it feels very obvious. I feel like it was obviously the right choice to destroy the raid suit from a thematic standpoint. The most important thing in One Piece is having your beliefs and, like, sticking to them. It's the reason why Enel gets to have his dream, because he so believes in it so hard. Right? I hope I'm making sense here and not just, like, giving out half arguments I've seen from other sources, which I'm kind of doing. But I hope it all makes sense how I'm connecting it to this scene. Because I think that is important. Sanji chooses to be himself, all the foibles therein. He's full of emotion. Can't just, like, turn off his heart. And there are problems with that. He can't fight a woman, or he just can't do it. Also, he's a weird, fucking horny bastard. But he will hold on to himself, however good or bad that is. He will hold on to who he is. And if he loses who he is, that's the same thing as him dying. So again, I don't think he will die, because this is One Piece. But I do think he will get worse and then, like, drag himself into getting better. That's my theory. That's my theory as to how this arc will end for Sanji. He'll beat Queen with this sort of determination, and then he'll almost become the cold warrior of science and then drag himself back from the edge. Maybe Zoro will choose to save him rather than killing him. Maybe, possibly. We'll see on that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see is the whole thing with Sanji right now. I am excited to see that, which is more than I often am with Sanji storylines. Anyway, meanwhile, we see some more with Big Mom, as that attack did some damage to Big Mom, but at this point I can't see Kid-in-Law winning. I don't think they're going to die for all the same reasons I don't really think Sanji's going to die. But they put everything they had into that attack, and they are exhausted. You know, they both said, I can only use my awakening for a little while, and then I'm just kind of beat. And now, Big Mom is stronger than ever. She's a literal giant now. And they are on their last legs. They're going to lose. I don't know how they'll be saved, but I can't see them winning. And I've seen the theory that, like, you know, Big Mom will continue to be a recurring villain after this. You know, she'll still get away. Kaido will fall here. Also, I do think that, like, Big Mom is much more a Luffy enemy than a kid-in-law enemy. I don't know. Anyway, we then also have this Apoo and Yamato stuff, which is hard to follow. I have no idea what Fuga's up to, or what. None of the numbers have been, like, defined characters enough that I can really say anything about any of them. But I have no idea what Fuga's up to. I have no idea what's going on with the numbers. Like, Zagi and Ibi also just look kind of confused that Apoo is asking for their help. It's a weird scene. Not helped by just, like, the whole who knows what kind of confusion going on here. I don't know. I'm curious how it'll all play out. If Drake will end up helping Yamato in his... No, let's say Drake will help Yamato with a mission to disarm the castle. But Drake is sort of settled on beating Apoo. But we'll see what comes of that at some point. The last thing that I haven't brought up yet is the Robin and CP0 stuff. As CP0 has decided, fuck it, we're not waiting for the end. We're just gonna fucking take Robin now. So yeah, we'll see how all of that goes. I'm hoping to get even more Robin fights, because you know I love me a Robin fight. But yeah, I don't know. The guy, right? So the teleportation thing is one of the CP9 stuff that we saw way back in, like, Ennis Lobby. The Rokushiki, I think it was called. It's been a while since I read that arc. So yeah, that's sort of what we're seeing there, is that sort of instant catch-up thing. And we don't see what happens right afterwards. So maybe we'll come back to them later and we'll be, like, right where we left off, and he'll have just attacked or something. Or he's gone and disappeared for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, lots of things going on in Wano. There are always lots of things going on in Wano. With Big Mom, with Apoo, with CP0, with Sanji. All in all, there's a lot of good stuff here, and I really can't wait to see how all this plays out. It's going to be a long 2 weeks until the next chapter. But yeah, for now, that's all I got to say for this video. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. You know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!